What were we like before Nova? And why did we come here? At our old schools, many of us felt different and alone. It's weird to be the smartest kid in class, or to not feel challenged, so you coast and don't try that hard. Because you don't have to. Or because it's boring. Or because kids make fun of you for being smart. For being a teacher's pet, a bookworm who likes Doctor Who, a nerd.
Well, this is my first full-time teaching job. Before I got hired here, I was a substitute around the Olympia School District. And you know, it's different because, you know, there's the academics are very much a part of this school, and I appreciate that it's important, that it's not just a placeholder that we come here and we just sit and kill time until you turn 18 and then you go get a job somewhere. So I think that's probably the biggest difference for me is just how everyone's invested so much into this school and wants to get the most out of it.
I came from Griffin Elementary School, and it was different because, as I said, its curriculum wasn't as advanced as Nova's, but it was very repetitive and like memorizing stuff you're not going to use at all.
Well, I really like that everybody is just not afraid to be themselves and doesn't really care what anybody else thinks. And I think that's a really good trait because everybody can just kind of, they don't have to worry about what other people are thinking of them.
My favorite part is I really like how Nova encourages you to get involved into the community, like the Olympia's community and the community we have at Nova, especially like the end of the school year trips in Camp Coleman. They really encourage you to interact with everyone, and we really have a strong bond between everyone in the school, so that's really important to me.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say science because I wasn't really exposed to science in my elementary school years, so it was kind of just like, here you go, here's some science.
Probably the homework, which I hadn't really experienced before in elementary school. I mean, we had a little bit of homework, but it wasn't like what we have now, especially with research papers, when you have to work an hour and a half a night, just on that one paper, plus other homework like math. And that was a challenge for me at the beginning. I've gotten used to it over the years, but it was really quite a bit different than what I had experienced before, and I liked it because it gave me more chances to grow and to learn, but it was also a challenge because it took up a lot of my time and I had to plan around homework, which I never had to do before.
I think like how the teachers just knew everyone. Like in elementary school, they just didn't know you as well as like all the teachers did.
Yeah, I think definitely one thing that surprised me was like how small everyone was. Being a school of 100 students, everyone knew each other really well, and you could talk on personally with the teachers one-on-one, which was something that we definitely didn't have in elementary school, which was really nice to have.
Nova surprised me with its community that it had and all the teachers and how they really work together to make sure that it all comes as a cohesive experience instead of one class and another class are completely different. They work together really well, and that really surprised me because I hadn't really had that interaction between many different teachers before, and I really liked how it worked and how everybody was talking to everybody and all the teachers were planning together, so it all comes down together really well.
I think what makes Nova special is the fact that we're a small community of people with these kind of very similar, you know, academic, educational needs and desires, and that allows us to be a really tight-knit community with a lot of compassion and
Specialist because it's not just like public schools I've gone to where everybody's kind of detached. Sometimes it's like everybody there is like their extended family, or everybody here, I should say.
Mainly came to Nova because it was like most schools didn't fit for me, for my just like my way of talking and way of doing schoolwork. And it just kind of seemed more of a like haven for me, I guess.
Came to Nova because the academics seemed really strong. It sounded like a really good community and it looked like a lot of fun.
There's a joke that Nova stands for nerds of various ages. Teachers, parents, and students alike embrace that. We all love to learn, to be challenged. And here we were part of a community, a family. Here we learned how to speak in front of 10 or 10,000 people, how to finish an assignment without taking 5 hours to answer question 4B, and how to push our limits to the max to create something wonderful. We came to change, to metamorphose to the tiny caterpillar into the giant butterfly, ready to take on the world.